Now that the bulk of free agency is over, and I've already done my power rankings in another video, if you haven't seen that, check that out, I can finally talk about the standings in the West. And the power rankings, if you watched it, was a lot more of, here's where I think teams can be in terms of just overall, ceiling and floor. The standings video is going to be a lot more cemented, because power rankings can change from, post All-Star break, post trade deadline, stuff like that, like different power rankings. The standings is what I'm going to be referencing throughout the entire season. So hopefully I'll be able to get some predictions right, and I'll talk about that. And if you've not seen this already, this is Enjoy Basketball's little standings thing. I'm in the East right now. I need to go to the West. But yeah, so this is kind of a cool little tool I can use. I was going to do a whole little Photoshop thing like I did last time with the power rankings. But yeah, dude, I think I do I go 1 to 15 or do I go 15 to 1? Let's go 15 to 1. And we're going to breeze through it, because if you saw the power ranking video, it's going to be pretty much the same. This is the bottom of the standings. Now, I don't have like exact win ratios, because I'm mean, like, if you're out of the play-in, no one really cares. These are the 5 teams that I think are going to be outside of the play-in, outside of contention. Now, we can move in from the 10th spot, who I think is going to be Memphis. Now, Memphis is good. They did lose Desmond Bane. They paid Jaren Jackson a bag. I like Zach Edey a lot. Ja Morant has been semi-available for them, right, in terms of suspensions and injuries and stuff like that. And they got some interesting guys. They got KCP. So I'm like, they'll be competitive, but I don't think that they're really going to be like a threat in the West. They are at the bottom of the play-in for sure. Next up is Golden State. Now, Golden State's problem with them is I still don't know what Kuminga's doing. They have made 0 moves, and they've lost Kevon Looney. So it's very interesting to look at their roster and be like, okay, your big man now is like Trace Jackson Davis and Quentin Post. I thought Kevon Looney was freaking awesome. He's been a great player for the Warriors organization just the whole time. Especially playing with Steph and Draymond, like that thing. You already lost Clay like 2 years ago, so I like Jimmy a lot. They can be competitive. Like, we've seen them. They won in the play-in last year anyway, so I think that they can do a good job, getting that maybe 7th seed and matching up with one of the higher tier guys, right? But in terms of like winning regular season games, I think that the health and lack of depth is kind of a problem. Now, San Antonio could win 40-ish games. I want to see what the over-under is. I'm going to have to check that out, make a short about it maybe. But I think that it's a very interesting case for, can they make the playoffs? I think they're making the play-in 100% this year. They're not one of those bottom 5 unless, Phoenix or Portland or Sacramento or any of those guys could pop up. Utah's pretty much just go sit over there, big man, But San Antonio, can they win more than 42 games? Can they go over 500? Like, that would be really fun to watch. That's a fun bet. I don't bet money, but that would be a fun thing to look at and look into. I like Wemby's odds. The Spurs have made a lot of cool moves. Now, their youth is definitely there, and so it'll be interesting to see how that works with their development. And, Chris Paul's now out. He's with the Clippers. They got Luke Cornett, right? I think Harrison Barnes is still there. So you got some vets and some of the other guys like Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, Jeremy Sohan alongside Wemby, and Dylan Harper and Steph Castle. And I really like Carter Bryant. Like, I like a lot of these guys on the team, but I think this is just a good spot to put them at. Now, 7 is going to be Dallas. And if you watch the power ranking video, I talked a lot about this because I was like, yeah, they're cool, but their point guard is D'Angelo Russell, who's like, I like D'Lo, don't get me wrong, but he's been kind of tossed around a little bit. He's consistently inconsistent, so that just means he's inconsistent. I'll just say that right now. They have a rookie small forward, a Cooper Flag, not bad. Klay Thompson, cool, right? And their main guys, Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving, is out with an ACL injury. So I'm just like, yeah, they'll be competitive. They could be a top 4 team, like all healthy with Kyrie and AD if AD is like healthy. But I'm just like, rookie Cooper Flag, yeah. D'Lo, like, so they're fine, but they'll win some games the regular season. This is probably the 40. I want to say maybe 43, 44 games, 44 wins. So that'll be interesting to look at. Number 6, we got Minnesota. Now, I don't like that they have regressed in terms of like, I mean, they kept a lot of the guys, but they lost Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I'm not saying he was like a big superstar for them, but he was a bench piece. And so your bench gets a little thinner. I thought they drafted pretty well with Johan Berenger. That's my French homie. But Mike Conley's getting older. Someone made a good point about Mike Conley's too old and Rob Dillingham's too young. So there's a weird dynamic there. And can he make another jump? He led the league in three-pointers made this season, so that was crazy on like 10 attempts, shot 40% from the field. or from the 3-point line. Crazy, crazy jump. Can he make another scoring jump? Can he be like an MVP candidate? If he can, and Rudy still is holding up, and they got Naz Reid, Jay McDaniels is good. It's a good team, obviously, because they're in the top 6. So if you think I'm saying they're a bad team, you're tripping. But yeah, I really like Minnesota, but I just think that they haven't really done anything to compete with everyone else who's made amazing moves. And the team right above them is LA, and I think it's going to be the Lakers there in terms of wins, just because you got Luka, but LeBron is getting older. The bench. Like a lot of this, as we've seen from last year, everyone was talking about youth. I'm like, I didn't see as much youth as I saw like depth. Depth was a massive part, right? And some of these teams addressed that. Like New York and Denver were the two teams who could have gone farther if they had depth. What did they go do? They went and got some depth. So that's why we're going to be talking about them here in a little bit. But yeah, Lakers, I'm like, you got Marcus Smart, DeAndre Ayton's going to be cool. They're going to be a fun team. And you got to remember, the 3 to 5 slot, the 3, 4, and 5 was tied at 50 wins. So I'm not saying it's going to be like a 2-game split. It's going to be super, super, super close in terms of wins. Now, in terms of how many wins, I think it might be more than 50, but I think these other teams ahead are going to win more than 50. And that's the crazy part. This Western Conference is going to be crazy. I am putting the Clippers, shout out, at the 4 seed because I think that they gives them a home court advantage for the first round, and it's going to make it really interesting to see how it goes later on. But yeah, they don't have a ton of youth, so the regular season is not going to be like a crazy thing for them, even though if you have James Harden on your team and you get Kawhi to play 30, 40 games, you're going to win 50 games. So the Clippers very, very much exceeded expectations last year. Everyone knows that. They got better. They kept everybody that was necessary to the squad, right? Talking about losing Patty Mills, Ben Simmons, Amir Coffey, Drew Eubanks, guys like that. Yeah, now we have really, really good depth, and Kawhi's coming into the season healthy. That's kind of the main part. Is like you forget that this dude wins games. Now, regular season, I'm not. This is nothing but the playoffs. This is straight seeding. So I have them about maybe 50 to 55 wins this next season. Now, right above them, I have Houston because Houston's youth is just youth and depth. They've got the combined, right? Everybody else on this list is youth and depth. They have KD. I really love Şengün. I really love Amen Thompson. They have Fred VanVleet, who's dope. Tari Eason. Jabari Smith. I could go on and on and on and just name all the players. I think what they've done this offseason has been a very, very big win for this team and this franchise as a whole. And I think they're going to win 57 games. I think that's where we're going to be if we're going on track with, scaling up just a little bit, 55 to 57. Not quite the 60-win mark, but that's for probably this next team, 60 wins. OKC at number 2, and that might be blasphemous, but let me just skip to number 1. At this point, Denver. Let's talk about Denver first. Denver, if you give Nikola Jokic some help, oh my gosh. And I need to make a video on that, I think maybe this week. I've got another video I want to make on markets and stuff, so sub up if you want to see that. I'm having a fun time making some content. But Denver, I think they have a really good shot at winning a lot of regular season games. Jokic does not miss games, dude. So if he's playing and they've got health, Cam Johnson, and they've got some guys on the bench, Bruce Brown, Tim Hardaway, like nothing crazy, but with basically a starting 5 plus Russell Westbrook last season and a brand freaking new head coach, they took the defending champions, or they took the now champions to a 7-game series. And it was looking like, woof, like they might beat them. They might beat OKC in 7. And there were a lot of narratives. If you remember, it was 2 months ago. Everyone remembers that. So that's why I got Denver at 1 in terms of like the seeding. Now, they could win 60 to 65 games. That's if, and I just don't think Jokic is going to get hurt. He just doesn't get hurt. He plays games. He wins games, dude. Now, OKC, they didn't do anything. They re-signed everybody, literally everybody. Their team is basically a $1 billion salary squad, right? Which is crazy. But I like Shea. I love J-Dub. I love Chet. They're going to get Chet for a full season. So that I was bordering on I think OKC could get the 1 spot. But I really think that Jokic having help versus Chet playing more games, this is going to result in the Nuggets having more wins. That's not to say that, it might be separated by 2 games, 2 wins. So it's not going to be like this chasm. The top 6, the top 5 in the West is going to be super tight. I wouldn't be surprised if it was around 10 games for 5 slots, which is a lot. And if that's the number 1 seed, best team in the league, it's going to be crazy. So, yeah, I got Denver at the 1 seed, OKC at the 2, Houston at the 3. So now we can kind of speculate in another video. Maybe I'll do that later in the season or later in the off season about, okay, I have the Battle of LA. I didn't even realize that. The Battle of LA in the first round. That would be sick, right? Minnesota, Houston, dope. Let's say OKC, San Antonio. Are you kidding me? That would be crazy. Like the play-in, look at this play-in squad. If everyone's healthy in this play-in, bro, you get Wemby versus like Cooper Flag. Are we for real, bro? This would be so much fun. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I've had a fun time doing this. I'm going to make the East video that's coming out this Friday. Make sure you stay tuned for that. I got a lot of fun videos coming up. If you've not seen my other channels, it's going to be popping up right here. And if you've not seen these videos right here, go check those out. That's all we got. We out.